Americans um, and Romanians is that I'm now on 3 different time zones.
Oh, that sounds like hell.
Yeah, so I'm so confused as to whether I'm coming or going over 4 different countries. No, 5 different 3 different time zones over 4 different time zones over 5 different countries or sort of areas. UK and Ireland, Romania, Georgia on the East Coast, and LA on the West Coast. It's just like, what the fuck?
Nice.
I'm all
Sounds
over the place.
fun. Right. I think that's now up. See if the chat's working.
I think Law's coming on. I'll
Oh, cool.
text and say
Are you,
we're live.
excuse me, you're not at home then? No, so you are at home, aren't you? You
I
already
am
said.
at home. No, I am actually at home. I've been kicked out of my office and now I'm in the bedroom. It's really confusing.
Well,
I don't know how I've ended
I
up
almost
here.
did a podcast from my mother's conservatory
Oh,
on
nice.
Sunday. That was what the plan was going to be, but then William had other ideas. So
Um,
yeah, I'm sure we'll get onto that. Um, right, let's start.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Right, to
Max Verstappen has taken the checkered flag to win. That was absolutely brilliant.
Team secret this year.
No, Sergio Perez is giving it everything. Oh no, Max, that was so not right. Goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff. And into each other goes Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez.
Bottas took out both their controls.
And at the back, that's George Russell out of this race. Daniel Ricciardo makes contact there with Kevin Magnussen, and there's a second contact.
I have no idea what we're doing. Yeah, hello.
In what way?
I was just like, you just went, oh, we're going, and then suddenly it started recording, and and I hadn't quite clocked on that and my brain's in about 5 different places at the moment. So
Okay, well, normally we have to record if we're doing a podcast. I mean,
yeah,
quite often I forget and then have to rip it from
yeah.
the YouTube, but this time I remembered.
To be honest, I didn't even notice because I was doing something else that we were on you were in recording, and then suddenly I heard the start music. I didn't even realize we were live. So we're doing
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I told you I was going live.
Yeah.
We're only live for like
but
30 seconds.
I don't know what that live means. Is that
Great.
live as in we're going live as in I'm pressing record, or
Yeah, no, going live means we're going on YouTube.
Oh,
And then
right,
once
yeah.
it's all settled and the chat's working, then I just start the recording. But hi, everyone.
Yeah, hi.
Great.
I'm
Oh,
behind this.
God. How's everyone everyone as in you after the time when did you watch it? Did you watch it live
So I watched qualifying live,
Okay.
then thought, fuck this for a game of soldiers. I'm going to watch the repeat.
I'm still tired, as you can guess, because I'm yawning. But it's my first day back at work today after 2 weeks. So,
Oh, really?
I
just could not be asked with getting up at that stupid. Like, it was bad enough getting up qualifying, and then Kimmy was like, "Oh, I really want to watch it. I want to watch this season. Grand, you can watch it." Cut to qualifying. He stayed in our bed that night. Qualifying, he slept through it. And then the race, he didn't even get. Well, we watched it later. We started it at 7:30 because that seems like a sensible-ish early morning time to think about it. And he suddenly decided that he wasn't going to watch it because his cousin was over. I was like, okay, fine. Anyway, so I watched qualifying live, but I actually watched the race delayed. And then I watched the checkers flag at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
What's the checkers flag?
After F1, after the race.
Oh, as in the
flag.
Oh, right. So just the post race.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So I started watching it live, and I had my in-laws over, so I went down to my mother's. To watch the race. I snuck out at 4 o'clock.
At that time in the morning?
Oh yeah, she's always up watching. She loves it.
Yeah.
Started watching the race. Got to basically the exact moment where Max Verstappen made the mistake and lost P2 to
Yeah.
Piastri. I then get a text saying William's been up for 40 minutes. He's screaming the house down. Can't get him back to sleep. Can I get some help, please? But this is from the mother-in-law.
Oh, wow.
So she'd taken William off my wife, said, you go back to bed, and then
couldn't deal with it.
Couldn't get him back to sleep. Like, I mean, he was teething really badly, so that's fair. I'm glad I came back up. But what I did was I managed to get him calmed down. He just had a bottle in his mouth, just suckling the bottle for about an hour. Not drinking anything, but just suckling on the bottle. There was milk in there. He just wasn't drinking it. But he was just suckling on the bottle because it was helping with his teeth. And I had one earphone in and had my phone to the left of me. And I was on about a half an hour delay, I think it was. No, probably a bit less than that. But the trouble was he fell asleep as soon as the checker flag fell for me, obviously, so on a delay. And I thought, I can still make it onto the Grid Talk podcast because I'm supposed to be doing a review with them. And he slept for about 10 minutes. And then he woke up. And then like it got to like 6:30. I'm like, I'll just take him downstairs. Like he's not going to go back to sleep now. So then I would message Grid Talk, I'm not going to make it. I'm really sorry. So couldn't make it. So I left them high and dry. So I just did the preview for the Chinese Grand Prix for them to make up for it. So yeah, back in the game. But at least I wasn't supposed to be hosting. That would have been a disaster.
That would have been a disaster.
Yeah, but yeah. Apart from that, all good. I really enjoyed it as a race. What about you?
Yeah, I thought the beginning bit just got boring because it was just a bit slow, and it took a while to get because everyone kept spinning off and having problems.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know what? I've gone out of that drive to survive mentality of the crashes are exciting into this is slowing down the race now and we're not enjoying the race. We now crack the fuck on. So yeah, it is quite a it was good. I enjoyed it and it was a different race. How do you want to do this then? Do you want to go through teams, drivers? What do you fancy doing? Like,
let's just do it in teams, I think, because we'll talk about the drivers as and when, I think, as we go. Do you want to start the top and work down, or should we just kind of build up to the good stuff? We've done a lot of prep for this podcast, as you can tell.
Yeah, no prep at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just.
Oh, a little bit of fun trivia for you. Guess how I did this to my fingers.
You trapped it in the nursery door.
Did I tell you?
Yeah, that was last week.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Damn it. Yeah.
And by the way, this is a black finger that he's got. Yeah, you trapped it in the nursery door.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. I told you last week. Go back and listen to last week's podcast to get the story about that.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm just surprised.
Look, I remember how you affect your fingers. I don't remember when your son's birthday is. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. The fact that on the last podcast I asked you if you were coming to his party or not.
Yeah, but I got confused and you said something about Paddy's Day and my brain exploded.
Yes, so, Ruby, we're recording at a reasonable time. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Ruby's in the chat. Yes, we're recording at a reasonable time.
Sorry, how is this a reasonable time?
I think it's more like, I think she's more kind of, we're recording it soon after the race. I think that's more what she means. But I've still done a Chinese preview before I've done the race review. So I've still now got to get back into what happened last week instead of what is going to happen next week.
Yeah, what's your crystal ball saying?
But yes, I was going to say something then, but I can't remember what it was.
Right, okay. So should we start off with Racing Bulls? As they are at the bottom. Oh, we do constructors.
Well, the constructors, the bottom of the constructors is actually Haas, which does surprise me. I suppose it is because Tsunoda did finish the race out of the points. So constructor-wise, Haas were bottom of the pile.
The irony being that they actually finished.
Yes, but both cars finished, but in the last two positions on track.
I know. Hang on. Oh, yeah. I was like, hang on. Oh, no, this is last year's.
Yeah, no, look at this year's standings. That'll be a better.
There we go.
That'll be a better solution.
So the fact that you managed to get two cars across and actually survive doesn't get you anywhere.
Well, no, because no one else had a double retirement, did they?
Yeah.
If anyone had a double retirement, then it would have done. But we had, was it 5 or 6 retirements?
Yeah.
6 retirements. It was Hadjar, Doohan, Sainz, Alonso, Bortoletto, and Lawson.
I would say Haas screwed their strategy, but I don't know because I didn't see them for the whole race. I've no idea what happened to the Hasses. Not a fucking clue.
So they did screw their strategy in a way, but to be honest, it was just a gamble that didn't pay off. But they were last anyway.
Yeah.
They stayed out on the inters when everyone else went to dries because they thought it was going to rain again. But to be honest, they were just like, look, we can just run around at the back, or we can try something different and see if something happens, and then still finish last anyway.
Yeah.
So it didn't make any difference.
I don't think it was a bad strategy call.
No, you got to try something.
Just where they were.
That Haas was never going to score points. I don't know why they're so terrible.
Is it Haas or is the car the fucking thing?
Yeah, they seemed, well, based on their long runs, they seemed like they were okay in testing, and Sauber were terrible. But then Sauber brought an upgrade. Everyone else seemed to just kind of be where they expected to be. And then Haas went backwards. Yeah. So they didn't do any high performance running at all in testing. And because they were basically saying, well, we'll just take the fuel out and it'll go quicker. So obviously something's happened.
And Ollie Behrman went spinny quite a few times.
Yes, he did.
In practice.
So his crash in practice 1, fair enough. It's his first practice. Didn't get out in practice 2.
And his crash in practice 3.
Yeah, and then he just spun in practice 3. He didn't damage the car, but because he did it on his second run, they hadn't had time to assess the gearbox, and as a result, the gearbox was fucked. So then he had a gearbox problem on in qualifying. I mean, it wouldn't have made any difference. He still would have qualified where he did. So I don't think it really matters. It just meant he had less chance of crashing. But yeah, it was they couldn't have done any more in the race. They're just slow. They are just slow. The driver was
I don't think Haas. I think this is possibly, and I hate to say this, the best Haas lineup in a while.
Yeah.
And I don't really like Ocon, but
you can't deny he's quick.
He's not horrific. And I think Oliver, I think they just had a shit time. They didn't understand the rain. They didn't understand anything. And that was that. And they had a bit of a
they just gambled. They just gambled. They tried to gamble. Didn't work. Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, there's been a lot of comments from Ruby. Right. Haas strategy screwed them. Well, I don't think it did screw them, as I said there, because they had to try something. So we've all just rolled the dice. They would have been last anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. It was Behrman back behind safety car queue after being let through. Yeah, but didn't matter. He still unlapped himself. So, but yes, it was just Haas being rubbish. So that's kind of that, really. Racing Bulls. What do we have? So we had Isaac Hadjar crashing before we even started the race.
Yeah,
and then
go on.
So we had that starting crashing before we started the race, and then we had Sonoda who was running in the points for most of the race, and then their strategy, that was a strategy issue. They stayed out too long. They were going for the glory. Stayed out 2 extra laps, and then Sonoda dropped out of the points. Yeah. So that Sonoda was brilliant all weekend. I think
he was.
I think Hadjar showed that he's got pace. Hadjar showed that he's got pace.
Do you know what? I said he looked like a bit of a muppet, but actually, he was looking quick, and I don't even think that was really his fault. The spin. Do you know? It was his fault. Don't get me wrong, but
it could have happened to anyone.
The Sainz did it. Not much later.
Yeah, and Alonso did it in the race. Yeah, everyone crashed on their own. Nobody crashed into anyone.
No.
So it was just the conditions.
This whole bollocks from bollocking fucking twat face, cunt head, wonky-eyed fucker.
Say what you really feel, Carl.
Can fuck off. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and read the fuckwits comments.
No, don't read it, because then it gives him credence. Yeah. It gives him viability.
He's just a knobhead, and if you haven't read it, don't bother, because he's just a knobhead. And the person that... And do you know what really annoyed me? What really annoyed me?
Go on.
Fucking Anthony Hamilton came off as a fucking decent person.
You don't like Hamilton, do you?
I always thought he was a big, giant knob. Now... He's just brilliant. I quite like him. I was just like, I said to Laura, this just makes me want to fucking like him. And, I think, to be fair, it's a bit of maturity and a bit of and it's a bit of humanism. It's not even the word.
Like it's
the
years of us. I was just on the China preview with George on Grid Talk, and we discussed about this is going to be a spoiler because this is live and the preview ain't coming out till tomorrow or Wednesday. So hey,
breaking news!
Yeah, breaking news. We were just discussing about it and whether it was necessary or not. We were both very much of the opinion it wasn't. And
what wasn't necessary?
It's just like his comment, and then I was just like thinking about what other drivers have we seen crying? Like Schumacher, countless times was crying. Like when he passed Senna's win record, he was crying. When he won the world championship for the first time for Benetton, he cried.
Yeah, but even I've seen loads of people cry when they're feeling shit as well.
Yes, Badoa. I mean, you won't remember this, but like way back in 2001, I think it was Luca Badoa. In his Minardi was going to get points and he crashed out and he was crying side of the track. Mika Hakkinen going for the championship in either 98 or 99. And he went off at Monza and then just walked into the woods and was crying in the woods, a helicopter filmed him.
Isaac Hadjar's reaction is
it's emotion. It's just pure emotion. It's much more healthy.
Storming off and smashing fuck doors or whatever, you know. Fuck smashing doors and things. I think it's such a better reaction.
It's a healthier reaction.
To okay, this is shit. I'm just gonna have to have a moment. And that's absolutely fine. Of
course it is. Of course it is.
I think, if any of us fuck up at work or have a moment and you think, oh fuck, I've just fucked that up, there goes my promotion or whatever, you're gonna sit there going, geez, this is shit, I
don't think I've ever cried when I've made a mistake at work. I'm not going to lie, but because I just don't care. But it's such everything's ramped up to that. The last time he was in a competitive session, he was second on second row for the finale of the F2 season, and he blew it. He stalled on the grid, and then he didn't win the championship as a result. Bortoletto won it, and now the next competitive session he's in, apart from qualifying, obviously, he doesn't even make it to the start line. So, of course, he's going to be emotional. He's probably just lost a ton of confidence because obviously his F1 seat wasn't secured at that point either. So, it's of course, he's allowed to be upset. He's a young lad. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Everyone's there to see him. And he's made a mistake that's dropped him out before he's even taken the start. So I think he would have been much better if he'd have made the start. If he'd have actually done half the race, he probably wouldn't have cared. So I would not cared so much anyway. But it's just, I mean, science crashing behind the safety car, it shows that anyone can do it.
Yeah.
But I guess so. Alpine next. Doohan looked all right in qualifying. I think he looked quicker than Gasly in places. Looked fast, but then crashed on lap 1.
Yeah. He has had so much hate for some unknown reason. Unknown. What is it with everyone saying that he's going to get replaced?
It's South American fandom. At the risk of sounding racist, not racist, but it's generally the kind of the South American audience of like all the really passionate like Argentinian, Brazilian support. Look at how much hate Hamilton had for years in Brazil because he beat Massa to the championship. Results still pending, and But now, now they absolutely adore him because Senna is his idol, and so I think it's just because Colapinto, they want Colapinto in F1. All the Argentinians want Colapinto in F1. That's where it's coming from. I don't think there's any hatred towards him generally, apart from.
Why do they think the Colapinto? Oh, because he's now in Alpine's second car.
Yeah. They signed Williams, let him go.
Yeah, because
Alpine said that they can offer him a race seat. So it's that means that he will be in a race seat at some point. And Gasly's got a 2-year contract, I think, at the moment. Doohan's got just the 1. So absolute minimum, he's going to be in probably next year. But like, I don't. There's no more hype on a performance level for Colapinto than there is for Doohan. I just think it's purely financial. It's purely commercial, and that's what annoys me.
Yeah, and Colapinto did okay in Williams, but didn't
He
do
was
great.
fine. He was fine. He was good. He was.
Yeah.
No one expected anything, and he was very good, and
Yeah.
that's great. But Doohan is not. He's no slow peddler. He's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And he showed this weekend, up until the lap one crash, inexperienced, wet track, never driven a Formula One car in the wet, lots of painted lines on a street track. The painted lines are treacherous, and he's just dropped it like a lot of other people do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, and Gasly showed fight this week. It was
he did make
effort.
a mistake. He did make a mistake though, which dropped him to 11th after Piastri came back through,
which is a shame because
that was his fault.
Yeah, it was his fault. It's a shame. I think he's out driving that Alpine. I still think it's a bag of spuds.
I don't. I think it's a good car. I genuinely think the Alpine's a good car.
Okay. I don't think that. I haven't overly seen too much.
It was making good progress at the end of last year, and I think it's made another step this year. I think it's on a similar level to the Williams.
But their executive fucking twat, whatever, advisor can fuck off as well.
What, Briatore?
Him and the fucking manky-eyed twat can both fucking go and make babies together and fuck off. Like just a bunch of old granddads that need to fuck off.
So Carl's opinions are very well censored, and
like the problem is that no, I can't say it. No.
If you can't say something nice, then say nothing at all.
No, yeah. Best I say nothing.
We're on a podcast, so we have to say something. So
yeah, but no, it's best I don't say anything about old men and young kids and
okay, right. So moving on, Ferrari, 7th in the championship. Ferrari, 10th.
Sorry, what?
And they are 7th in the championship. So was it? 10th
yeah, well, that
and
worked well for Hamilton, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've shown that they've got some pace, but not this weekend. This weekend, for whatever reason.
Well, this weekend was you've got your star in the reasonably priced car, which isn't the reasonably priced, but your star in a very expensive car that has never worked with that engine, hasn't even been in the rain with it ever. This is the problem when they all go and do their test drives around Italy and Barcelona or wherever, Bahrain. It's all very sunny. Like
it was pretty cold in Bahrain, and there was a little bit of rain for the first time ever,
but not by much enough.
Not enough to wet the track, just enough to wet the hair of a few people standing outside.
Why are they not doing these tests in Spa or UK or
because the teams don't want the rain for the test, because then they end up crashing their only car and then get no mileage. They'd rather do their learning on the track, but it's just a shame from the driver's perspective that it happened on the first race of the season.
I'm guessing they do simulator versions of it, but
probably
and exactly what it is. Ferrari, I'm shocked by them being there. I am not shocked, and I find it fucking hilarious that their customer engine is above them. Okay, they've got one up above and one below, but that
I love that Sauber ahead of Ferrari in the championship.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Ferrari, going back to Ferrari, I think a bit of it was they fucked this Ferrari being...
Use your words, Carl. Use your words.
Use my words. Ferrari being a team... What was I going to say? No, I'm lost. What was I going to say?
Just like Ferrari on their strategy.
Oh, sorry. Ferrari's strategy was shocking.
It was, but no. Well, they were like 5th and 6th anyway. They were still slow. They were the 4th best car anyway. It was only Lawson not being very good for whatever reason, and Antonelli starting at the back. That's the only reason that they were 5th and 6th. They would have been 7th and 8th, and as a result, they finished 7th and 10th, or 8th and 10th rather. And that's just so the strategy cost them 1 position for Leclerc and 3 for Hamilton, realistically.
Yeah.
So I don't think the strategy cost them as much as people are saying. Yes, it was the wrong strategy, but
cost a little bit though.
But if you look at it, if the crash between Bortoleto and well, not between, but the crash of Bortoleto and Lawson, had that happened slightly earlier, like half a lap earlier,
Yeah, Tom,
all of a
K2
sudden,
is available.
sorry.
K2 is available.
Oh, okay. But yeah, if that had happened half a lap earlier,
K2 is available, Tom. K2.
Yeah, but then that would have helped.
Oh, come on, run with the joke.
What?
If anyone gets my joke, please sort of write it.
That's what the engineer was saying to Hamilton, wasn't it?
Yes, but also he said, "Leave me alone and let me finish. Let me carry on."
Fine, right, I get it now. Sorry.
God, I set you up so bad.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, if that had happened just slightly earlier, then that the safety car would have helped them, and if it had been a red flag, they could have won the race.
Yeah.
So it's like little margins like that, and then we'll talk about something very different.
Buts and maybes.
Yeah. So
unfortunately, you ended up in 10th and 9th.
10th and 8th. Yes. 8th. Yeah, Leclerc was 8th. Piastri got Hamilton on the final lap.
Didn't he? 10th and 8th.
Oh yeah. They should have been like 5th and 6th, but
yeah,
realistically, but no, it's well, that would have been third. Yeah, they probably would have been. Best case scenario, they would have been 5th and 4th with Piastri dropping out.
Yeah,
but it's still it's not great. It's not great. There was something up with that Ferrari at that track. It just didn't add up. So let's see how they are in China. And if they're still slow in China, then alarm bells.
Yeah. Let's talk about Kick Sauber, Hulkenberg. How the fuck did he get it into 7th?
He stopped.
Was
at
it
the right
good
time.
car? Is it good drive? Or
they were the only team to bring upgrades. So
how do you bring upgrades to a new car?
Well, because it's different to the car that's in testing. They brought, the other teams brought new stuff. I think Red Bull brought a new front wing, but they were the only team that brought substantial updates to the car from testing. Yeah. And the car was just a lot better. It was so stiff all through testing. They just couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And then it was just a lot better here. Also just Haas were just terrible. So that promoted them up to there. The pit stop was perfect for them. Hulkenberg stopped on exactly the right lap. But if you look at it, on pace and without, by making the correct strategy call, Leclerc, Piastri, Hamilton, Gasly, Tsunoda, they all finished ahead of Hulkenberg. So realistically, Hulkenberg was a P12 in the race.
Yeah.
So I think and that's out of 15 finishes with the Haas being slow. So let's not get carried away. On pure pace, Hulkenberg was a P12 finish, just ahead of the two Haas boys. So,
I mean, fair play to them, and I'm glad they're off the starting block. And it's optimistic. I mean, I can't even remember how Bortoleto spun out, but he obviously did.
So Bortoleto, it's an odd one. He caught a curb and spun the car around, but when the car was reversing towards the barrier, you could see the rear suspension was broken.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they were being very cagey as to whether it was a suspension failure or whether the fact that he was in reversing on tarmac whilst in a forward gear may have broken the suspension.
Yeah.
So, but the suspension was definitely broken before the collision with the barrier.
Yeah.
He did radio in a few laps earlier asking if anything was wrong with the car because it felt a bit weird. So I think there's something was on the verge of breaking and then maybe he's broken it by hitting a curb too hard or something. It's possible. Who knows? But I'm sure they'll let us all know what happened. But I thought he did really well. I thought he was showed good pace. Obviously, he outqualified Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg made a small mistake in qualifying, which if he hadn't made, he probably would have outqualified Bortoleto still. But he did make that mistake, and Bortoleto didn't, so he deserved to get through to Q2. So it was an impressive performance. Just didn't quite have the staying power to get it through to the end. I think it will be a different story in Spain. I think he'll have a much better race in Spain. I think he'll go a bit further. Yeah, no, I was quietly impressed with Sauber.
I don't think they're awful. I think they are top of the bottom. If that makes sense.
I think they are the ninth.
Well,
I think they are the ninth fastest. I think they're the ninth fastest car. I think you've got.
They might drag through 8th if they're lucky.
Yeah, I think you've got Williams and Alpine, just behind the top four, with RB kind of just close to that. And then you've got Aston Martin, Sauber, and Haas at the back. And I just think that's they're probably the fastest out of that bunch. Or they're in amongst that bunch, ahead of Haas. They're probably going to be fighting with the Aston Martins. But
talking of which,
they are the next team, aren't they? Are they? Yes, they are. Good memory. Yes, Stroll. Stroll got good points. Again,
Stroll's in sixth. How did he get there?
He benefited from the safety car. Again, same thing. Stopped on the right lap. Benefited from his teammate crashing out, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
And just held on. He to be fair, it was a decent race for him. He tends to do quite well in those conditions.
Yeah, he's always done well in crazy situations. That's when he shines. Do you know what? I think he's probably got ADHD. You know, when shit hits the fan, the person you need is an ADHD person. But when it's all calm and boring, he just spins out into world.
Well, he's good at crashing into people. He doesn't tend to crash out of races very often. He just crashes into people. So I think he's got no spatial awareness. He doesn't know
ADHD people. He's
just
an ADHD driver.
He doesn't know he's in an open wheel car. Who have we said that about in the past?
Somehow the person that finished fifth. But talking about the team that finished fourth and the person that finishes fifth in this race. I don't know how he did it, Albon, but well done. I think that Williams is a mighty car.
Yes, I think it's again there with the Alpine.
I think they'll get,
they've got the best driver
this year.
They've got the best driver lineup. Well, what did we say in our
amazing driving lineup?
In our predictions, what did we say for them? Let's just have a quick recap on that. So you said Williams would be fifth, and I said they'd be sixth. I stand by that.
I still think fifth.
I think they've got the driver lineup and the car to finish fifth. But I have this feeling that Alpine will outdo them because Alpine will continue to develop all throughout the year.
But if Alpine outdo them, that means Aston Martin could outdo them as well.
No, that car shit. No.
It's just more luck than judgment that they're there.
Yeah, and also they've got a questionable driver lineup as well.
What with Stroll and Alonso?
At some point, Alonso's form is going to fall off. At some point, it will.
That happened 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, I know. At some point, it's going to get to the point where he's no longer better than Stroll. That will happen at some point.
That's coming to the point where we're at now.
I mean, we don't know yet. I mean, he was still beating Stroll in the race before he crashed out, but we'll see. I'm here for it. I would love to hear the excuses of Alonso trying to explain why Lance Stroll's ahead of him in the championship. So long may it continue.
I'm hoping that Williams does well. I really do. There is British bias there, but I quite want Williams to do well. I think they are a brilliant team. I love the ethos at the moment and what they're creating. And I love the drivers. So, and although I hated Albon many years ago, I actually quite like them.
Yeah, I think I would love to see them get some podiums this year. I'd like to see them get
podiums. I'd like to see them be fourth, fifth.
That was the best. That was the best result for Williams since I think probably Spa 2021 for Russell. I don't think there was any other races where they got anything better. Wasn't there some
rumor that they've scored more points in the first race than they did in 2022 or something? Can't remember.
Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, that does sound about right.
Yeah. So look, Albon did a great drive. I'm gutted he got dropped down behind Antonelli, but made sense. I don't think that was the penalty, but I thought the penalty was rather harsh.
Yeah, I've not seen the replay. I've heard that they're one of the first teams, Mercedes, to actually get the right of review thing right. So they the penalty was because he moved into the fast lane in a dangerous manner. I've not seen the replay of it because I just didn't get a chance to watch it. But then there was a helicopter cam and a rollover hoop camera that wasn't available to the stewards at the time because they did. That's the kind of thing that they should have investigated after the race. But because they're so hell bent on getting results here for at the checkered flag, they announced that it was under investigation with 2 laps to go, and then gave the awarded the penalty on the final lap.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, at least investigate it properly. I'd rather have the right decision and late than have the wrong decision.
Yeah, and I think
that's so close to the end of the race. You're not going to be able to make a decent judgment on that. It's going to be a snap decision.
And it's not fair for Albon, who's now gone thinking, oh yeah, I've got fourth, brilliant, to then go back down to fifth.
Yeah.
Which would not have made a single jot of difference in the current standings, but it would have made a difference. It could have made the difference further down the line.
Yeah. No, it was annoying. Sainz, lap 1. Behind the safety car. I think it's easier to spin those cars in those conditions, in the wet, driving over white lines at slow speed. It's a lot easier to spin the car because the torque delivery is a lot less consistent. So I think he's just spun the wheels up.
I can't blame anyone for spinning out this time. No. Those that spun out on their own accord, I can't.
Yeah, it's tough conditions, and I say with a street track, it's there's lots of painted lines everywhere. They're really slippery.
Why do they not remove the painted lines?
I think some of them they do.
Yeah, why didn't they do them on all the bus lanes, especially around corner 6?
I mean, it's a lot. They've got a lot to do to get the track ready for the race anyway. So, but I guess burning
a few
them
more
all
linemen
off and then
won't fucking help.
Yeah, burning all the lines off and then redoing them afterwards. I don't know.
But it doesn't. Sorry, they can do a whole fucking 100-story car.
I mean, they can.
Behind us,
they can. But what I will say is, this was the first wet race in Australia since I was there in 2010. So.
Oh, let me pick that up for you.
Oh, actually, no, I was there in 2012. It definitely rained in 2012 when I was there. When I was at the Australian Grand Prix in 2012, when I went to the Australian, but yeah, not in the race.
Did you go to the Australian Grand Prix, Tom?
I did in 2012. Did I mention that?
No.
Yes. But yeah, so 2010 it rained in the race, but that was the last time it rained during the Grand Prix. So I guess it's only a problem when it rains, and if it only rains once every 15 years on the track, then yeah.
Just to answer Ruby's question, are Williams serious contenders for the front of the midfield, or was Australia due to the rain equalising? No, I generally think they're a contender for the front.
I just said that. Them and Alpine, I think they are the front of the midfield. I think they're in their own league at the moment.
Yeah. Yes, Tom was at the Australian Grand Prix. Thanks for that.
Have I not mentioned that, Ruby?
No. Yeah, I generally think Williams are great and they're all doing better. How long it will last and whether the budgets will play ball with them, I don't know. But let's see. And I think the Ethos team, I think they're going to get huge now support from Carlos fans. And I think sometimes not the merch sales affect the budget, but sometimes when you have people behind you, that makes it a lot better. When you're just a nothing team, when you're either hated or loved, you become stronger. But when you're just nothing, you sort of just go into the middle. I don't know. I'm guessing you didn't watch the Sky F1.
The first 20 minutes I saw was from Sky F1.
Okay.
But
might have been, I can't remember.
I was watching F1 TV after that.
Where have you gone, Tom?
Sorry, I've accidentally just dropped something on my OBS screen.
Yeah, but we can't see it.
Oh no!
It's just a blue screen.
What is that? What is that?
Blue
oh
screen.
No!
There we go.
Oh no! Oh no! What's that? It's the Australian Grand Prix grid taken from my camera.
Yeah, no proof of that. You just picked up off Google, Tom.
No, I didn't.
Anyway, it's better. I can't see your face. What was I saying?
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway. Sorry. I was saying, did you see someone wearing a Sauber F1 top? And I was like, wow, where in Britain did you find someone that actually went out and bought a Kick Sauber F1 top that wasn't taking the piss? Or personality. I was like, or someone that does all these YouTube videos and has to wear 20 different tops.
Yeah, no, I did not see that.
Anyway. What do you mean it's like watching old Monkeyseat?
Because
when
it was
the
old
new Monkeyseat.
It was the old Monkeyseat background that I put up on the screen. That's why.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to put up a picture from when I was actually there.
Tom's fucked up and hasn't sorted out stuff. He's blaming not having enough time and having
Yeah,
kids and
I was
stuff.
gonna make it all posh and do
I
something
managed to
fun
do a
with OBS
background.
and make it like make it all
Have a
good.
random background. I mean, I know it's the F-175. I don't even think it's the real picture. I think that's what they thought it was going to look
Oh,
like.
really?
Yeah, I think that's a CGI attempt at what it's going to look like. Anyway, Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Sorry, Max Verstappen.
Yeah, sorry,
Racing.
Max Verstappen. Yeah, yeah. Lawson made loads of mistakes this weekend. He was all over the shop.
Oh, right. Let's start it now before we continue. Is it the second car curse?
There's no such thing as a curse.
All right. But is there a problem with that second car than the second car curse?
I think no. I think just give Lawson a bit of time.
Okay.
But I'm not convinced he's the answer. I think Max is just a cut above.
Yeah.
But also, it's difficult to explain. So I think, Lawson isn't the final solution. Oh, that's the wrong turn of phrase. Lawson isn't the answer in the Red Bull in the Red Bull fold, but he's under a lot of pressure, which he would be. But that's what he wanted. That's why he wants to be there. It's a difficult car. Max is just an incredible talent, and the team are
but I want to be
naturally
CEO of Disney.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean I can be.
yeah, but the team are naturally going to gravitate towards Max, and even at this race. There was one upgrade in Red Bull, and it went to Verstappen. So Lawson had a slightly different setup to Verstappen because he didn't have the same bits. So I'm not saying that's transformative because the highest Lawson finished in any session was 15 all day, all weekend. So clearly he's not up to scratch at the moment, but he was also the only driver on that grid, despite there being 6 rookies, and they are rookies. Despite there being 6 rookies on the grid.
Sorry, I don't get it. Is Alonso a rookie? Why do they keep calling Alonso a rookie? Am I missing
because one time about 7 years ago he took part in the rookie test at the end of the season because he was returning to Formula One and going to Alpine. So then he was in the rookie test, and there was this whole joke going around about, which was funny for about 10 minutes, about him being a rookie. So it annoys me. But it was always the young driver. Because it was the young driver test. So they were calling him a young driver, and it's kind of transitioned into rookie. But I mean, he made a rookie error this weekend. But so out of the 6 rookies on the grid, full season rookies, Lawson is the only one of them who has never driven any car at the Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah, but he's also the one that's driven a Formula One car more than anyone else.
Yeah, he's driven 11 races and he's driven in the wet. So yes, that excuse doesn't wash. But he has. But he's never.
And it's not like he went round the wrong way round the track or something.
No, but he has never driven at the Australian Grand Prix, and all the other rookies have because they've done it in Formula 2. So it's experience.
What?
That's all. It's experience. That's all. What's up? What's wrong?
I don't think it's experience. It's lack of experience, but. But it's not, sorry, it's not even an experience. He just fucked up and he just needs to. Yeah, look, I never thought Lawson was amazing. Ever did I think that he was the answer to anything. I think they once again fucked up and they should just put fucking Tsunoda in that car and just get on with it. Why they won't put Tsunoda in that car, I will never know. It doesn't fathom. Because I think, and I might be very wrong, Tsunoda and Max actually have very similar driving styles. I mean, they're both quite aggressive. I would say so,
yeah. They're quite, they like it on the nose.
Yeah. And I think, why would you not, if they're building that car for Max, then why not put someone like Max in? I'm not saying Tsunoda is like Max, but at least it's the same driving style.
I get that. I mean, the best person to be paired with Max Verstappen based on that logic would actually be Lewis Hamilton. They've got very similar driving styles.
Yeah, but they're not, that's not going to happen. This is Hamilton's on retirement.
Driving styles, not defending styles.
Yeah. Hamilton's on retirement phase now. Anyway. Okay, let's go to Dick 1 and Dick 2, which I'm really annoyed that I actually quite like. I thought Russell did really well.
Russell, for me, was the only driver on that who didn't, any driver in the points, realistically, he didn't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Or if he did, there weren't big ones. But he made the conscious decision very early on. He knew he didn't have the pace of the McLarens or Verstappen. So he decided to bank the podium and hope something happened ahead. Well, bank fourth place and hope something happened ahead. And obviously it did, because Piastri dropped out from the podium. He didn't have the pace. If he was pushing himself to the limit, he was more likely to make a mistake and crash out. So no, fair play.
He does drive sensible races, unless he's really at the front. And Antonelli.
Yeah, he drove very well. Yeah,
that guy's ego annoys me though. I think he's just young and dumb. And that's the problem. No, he didn't. He was grand.
He did do well. Like, yes, he benefited because he made the right pit stop at the right time, but he did still make some good overtakes.
I don't think he was as bad as I wanted him to be.
Yeah, he did make a mistake. He did spin and lost about 7 or 8 seconds.
I have to get him back down to fucking 8th. So,
Yeah. So just a reminder, we didn't talk about this in our predictions, but I put it down the bottom of my spreadsheet.
Okay.
The bet is that Antonelli will finish 7th or higher in the championship, and I win the bet.
Okay.
If he finishes 8th or lower, then you win the bet. And what is the forfeit?
Yeah, and currently he's 4th.
Yeah, I mean that's a bit early doors, but yeah, the forfeit is naked podcasting once again. But yeah, it's for me. That bet is completely down to how well Lawson does.
Sorry, what?
If Lawson gets to grips with that Red Bull, then I think he's got a chance of finishing ahead of Antonelli in the championship. But out of that top 4, I think they're the ones that are going to be running away.
But he's got to get down to 8th.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if Lawson,
I mean, at the moment he's 4th. So you've got to put Sainz in there, Albon in there, Leclerc, Hamilton. Actually, there's quite enough to kick him out.
Yeah, there's loads.
Piastri. You've got Piastri in there, Hamilton, Leclerc.
Yeah. You've got the top 4, the top 4 teams. Yeah. If the top 4 teams all perform as they should, then it should be Lawson and Antonelli.
Antonelli should be 8th.
Yeah, it should be Lawson and Antonelli in 7th and 8th.
So I'm hoping for Albon or Sainz to do really well.
Yeah, or Gasly, potentially.
No. Yeah, the problem is it's how well Lawson does.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the key. Lawson is the key. If Lawson does badly, then I'm sorry, but you're screwed. And I'm going to go 3 for 3 on my bets.
I'm going to hold out for this.
I don't bet often, but when I do,
we bet hard.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. And then let's talk about the team that has got the same amount of points, but is now driver championship winners.
It annoys me because I heard various sources saying that Mercedes are leading the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, like, one of those was Ruby, and I can't work out
was it. I was like, in what reality a Mercedes leading the Constructors' Championship when McLaren just won the only race of the season?
Because I do get this, and I sort of understand, because you ended up with 2 people getting points, and I think that might be it. No, I agree with you.
It goes on countback. It goes on countback for
like
race wins.
Because that was the
whole discussion.
Why do we have this constructors trophy? I never quite get that, because it's
how the prize money's paid out.
Yeah, but the constructors trophy doesn't make sense at that point.
It just goes to the whole team.
Yeah, but the constructors trophy is not. They aren't McLaren are not the best constructors. Mercedes are the best constructors, on the basis of getting 2 cars into the points.
Well,
so their constructors have done better.
Well, they've got more people in the points, but you could say, does that mean that Ferrari did a better job because they got 2 cars in the points?
Don't make me screen grab the picture, Ruby. Don't make me screen grab the picture.
Oh yeah, I'm already on the Slack at the moment trying to find it. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Don't make me screen grab the picture.
Yeah, this Yuhan. Actually, no. To be fair, she did say I think the quote on the Slack said leading the championship, but it could have been ambiguous. It could have been saying about Mercedes or McLaren. So I'm gonna cave on that one. But there were legitimate. I'm not saying that Grid Talk is not legitimate, but there were legitimate media sources claiming that Mercedes were leading the Constructors' Championship.
Antonelli's penalty has been overturned from Lewis. Oh damn, 27 points from Berg, barely leading the Constructors.
Yes, but she could be saying
she then said leading is leading is leading. She said leading is leading, which is
exactly. No, what she's saying is, because she's a McLaren fan, she's saying McLaren barely leading the Constructors, because before they were leading the Constructors, but now they're barely leading it because it goes back on countback.
Okay, I apologize, Ruby. I read that wrong.
But I agree, it could have been taken both ways, because initially when I saw that, I was like, but they're not. But then other people were saying that Mercedes were leading the championship. No. So that's why I was like, no, they're not. We had the whole discussion last year.
For that.
We had the whole discussion last year from about McLaren winning the Constructors' Championship when they were level with Ferrari and who would win it, because Ferrari had more race wins. So it definitely goes on countback. So 100%. But yes, McLaren are leading because they won the race. And we're doing a podcast after Lando Norris won a race. I think this is the first time.
Is it really?
Yeah, because every other time we've done it, Miami, we didn't end up not podcasting. And then the other three, whatever they were, we didn't do a podcast. We didn't do one after Abu Dhabi. I can't remember what his other race wins were now. But right, it's Owain apparently.
Yeah, but, it's Owain. It was Owain.
Yeah.
It was Owain.
Anyway.
I read your message wrong.
But McLaren, whoop whoop, go on, Lando.
There we go.
Very happy,
we don't need to talk about that anymore because they're very boring.
I mean, they're quick. They're quick in all conditions. But I think so are Mercedes. And I think genuinely Mercedes are the second fastest team over all the tracks. I think it will be Mercedes will be the second fastest car.
I am fact if that's true.
Yeah, you are completely. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, there's still two very good drivers in the Ferrari. Ferrari will be quicker. I just think Mercedes will be. I don't know. I think it's going to be for the constructors. The thing is, it's just the first 9 rounds. After 9 rounds, everything gets reset. So we don't know. If this everything I'm talking about here is just for the first 9 rounds. Who knows what's going to happen at Spain? So driver and dick of the day. Should we talk about that?
Driver of the day.
I was so torn with this. I was so torn.
I'm going to go with Lando.
Unfortunately, I didn't get my vote in on Grid Talk. I can see why people went for Max Verstappen. I think the official one was Lando Norris.
Yeah, by 20% though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I can see why people go for Verstappen. But normally my criteria is if they made a mistake in the race, like an obvious unforced error, then they can't be considered for it. But pretty much everyone did. Like Norris got hit by a wall of water.
Went off.
Yeah, but he got hit by a wall of water, and he did some damage to the underside of his car. Max, he lost second place to Piastri. He went off. Well, he stayed on, but he went deep. He's just about stayed on the track. Russell didn't, but I don't think his performance warranted the driver of the day. I think
Antonelli proved Lewis, Louis right, that it was going to go up from.
Yeah, it could be Antonelli. You could say Albon.
I think Albon, to be fair.
I think it potentially would have been Tsunoda had he not made a mistake and then bad strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did well to get back. I'm gonna go Antonelli. I'm gonna go Antonelli. Because he made the most overtakes of anyone, as well as showing the same pace as George Russell in clean air. Yeah. So, and then to get back to 4th place from that, and he did finish 4th place. It's not like a penalty demoted Albon behind him. He actually did finish the race in 4th. So and I think we can all agree that Dick of the Day is Helmut Marko. Are we? Are you saying? You're just staying silent on that, aren't you? Because you can't say anything. Okay. Yep, Carl staying silent.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Owen said drive of the day, Nico Hulkenberg. I can see that, but I think that a lot of that was down to the strategy as well. So it was, like I said, that had it not been for the strategy call, he probably would have finished 12th. So it was other people making mistakes.
I'm trying to think of anyone else that was a dick. No one else was a dick.
Even Christian Horner came out in support of Isaac Hadjar. So
well, of course he does, because he supports anyone that's in his stable.
You
know, he's going to support Lawson constantly. You know, and then stab them in the back. That's what he does.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So China next. Are you going to get up for the sprint at 3 a.m.?
Fuck, there's a sprint.
Yeah.
That's dick of the day already.
Yeah.
Right.
3 a.m.
Fuck that. No.
Okay.
3 a.m. sprint.
I was thinking, at least I can watch that before I go to work. I was like, I can watch that before I go to work. And then I realized it's my last Saturday off before I switch to Mondays permanently off. So that means I will not be at work. So I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning on my day off to watch the sprint.
When is that? 23rd? That's next weekend, isn't it?
Next weekend. Yep.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Oh, dear. So yeah.
Oh, this is really annoying because I don't know how to do this. Do I watch qualifying and then go back and watch the sprint, or do I get up at 6 o'clock to watch the sprint that might or might not be on because I need to look at F1's schedule and see how they're going to do this.
Are you watching this on Sky?
Yes, and I can't record anything.
And you can't record anything?
Nope.
Oh, okay. That's
because I have Sky Stream. And then it fucks up.
So you can't watch stuff back?
No.
Like on another time?
Not unless you've got it on the streaming system.
That sucks.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah. No, it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot easier and it's actually quite good for us. But right, let's see. Qualifying action, Ted's notebook, live qualifying.
It's great content, this is.
No, they put the F1 Academy in front of it. Oh, you bellends. Like what? On this Friday. Oh no, maybe it's live Formula One qualifying. Hang on, what? When's the sprint? Brilliant. This is all wrong anyway. TV Guide has got it wrong.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming it's still what it was before. Was it? It's Friday
sprint.
Qualifying. Is it Friday qualifying, Saturday? Oh no, Friday Friday sprint qualifying, Saturday morning qualifying, Saturday morning sprint, Saturday afternoon qualifying, Sunday morning, It
should be on at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but
be 3 in the morning for the sprint, I think.
Yeah,
and then like 5 or 6 for the
2:25 sprint race.
I'm assuming that's what build up. So if I were you, I would get up at like 5 o'clock and watch the sprint and then watch.
No, but I can't because it's not on at 5 o'clock. Nicholas Hamilton's on it then at 5 o'clock.
Okay. Wow, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Actually, I can. I just have to do it legally. That's really boring.
So you're not going to do that because, to be fair, I watch F1 TV, so. VPN.
That's so boring. Right. You've really pissed me off now. Fuck off.
Okay, cool. On that note, thanks everyone. See you next week if Carl has watched the race.
Oh, that's really pissed me off.
So I can't find the exit music. Oh, I pressed exit too quickly on that.
You can watch the qualifying session again at 9:30, and then we've got the spring race at 12. Oh, that's just because they'll all be talking about what happened in the sprint during qualifying, which would be really annoying if you haven't watched the sprint.
Don't worry, we can find a way to sort it out.
Oh, bad ends. Right, bye.
Cool, bye. Thanks, live chat. Bye.